we're going to demonstrate how to calibrate your cassette wall width. So I'm logged into the maintenance level. If I go to main menu and I go to the maintenance page here are your maintenance functions, and I want to calibrate a linear actuator, the linear actuator that dictates the width of your cassette wall. So I pop that open, and then there's the cassette wall. So I want to enter the manual mode to do the calibration, press the select manual, and then right now I get manual controls. I can jog that with open or close. When you use that, be careful that the lift plate's not in there and you're going to close the cassette wall on the lift plate. You can do that in this mode, so use it with caution. Next we're going to start calibration. And then it's going to give you a warning message, are you sure you want to start the calibration? And also remove the change parts prior to performing the calibration, so again we don't collapse on the change parts. So I do need to do that. So I'm going to leave this page right now. I'm going to go to the jog menu actually, and I want to jog the packer. And I want to jog the packer lift plate down, that way I can remove the change part. If you look at it where it is right now, you look up towards the lift plate, that's installed and it's all the way in the high position. I want to lower that pretty close to the lowest position so I can get the lift plate out, just like the position that it goes to in changeover. So again, I'm in the jogging packer page. I want to jog down, and I'm going to keep holding on to that button, and you're going to watch the lift plate move down to where I want it to remove it, as well as the pusher plate. A little further, right about there. That's a good place to take the lift plate out. So I'm going to enter the machine. Remove the lift plate, put it aside, and then also remove the pusher plate. Close the clamps back up, and close the change part loading, or the change part door, and the door. So now I'm going to go back to my calibrate screen to do the calibration now that the change parts are removed. Again, go into manual mode and confirm I want to start the calibration. Now it's asking me jog the cassette wall closed until it almost touches the lift plate holding bracket. So I need control current to do that. So I return control current, and I have these jog buttons. I want to jog it closed. So I'm going to push this while I watch it. And you're going to watch that far cassette wall jog in. So I jog it in. And then while I'm in the middle of that, I'm going to come over here, and then we're going to look inside here. You're going to see that those flap spreaders, those far flap spreaders, they're coming in. And what they can do is while you jog it, you can kind of see the top flap spreader on the top portion of it, and that cassette wall is jogging in, and eventually it's going to interfere with that top flap spreader. So you want to get it pretty close, maybe a 1/4 inch away, and then stop there, and then you can take a measurement from there. It's okay if you're a 1/4 inch farther or a 1/4 inch more in. Just try not to interfere those two pieces, and you can cause a bind on that actuator. So I'm going to go a little farther, maybe about there. I'm going to leave it there. Lock out the machine to enter it, and I'm going to have my tape measure. And what you're measuring right now when you calibrate is the distance between the interior surfaces of the cassette wall. So this point to this point. So I'm going to measure that in a few places. You might get some differential of a couple millimeters, and you want to pick the tightest one. So I'm measuring here, and that's about 239 millimeters. And I'm going to look at another point and measure it. and that's about 236. So that's normal. It's a 3mm differential. We can't get them perfectly square, but anyway, I'm going to take that measurement, 236, as my tighter measurement to make sure my lift plate does not interfere with the cassette wall when it's in normal operation. So I've jogged it all the way closed, and now I get this button closed position. And then you're going to look at the range that's acceptable, which is 200 to 250. The measured position we got was 236, so that is kind of a double check that we're doing something right. So 236, we're in the range, we're okay. It accepted that value. Now it wants us to jog the wall all the way open and then take the measured value again. So I return control current, I get my jog buttons, and I want to jog all the way open. There's nothing that's going to interfere in this case, so just leave your finger on the button, jog it all the way open, and you'll see the input box where you can input the new measured position pop up when it's ready. So the far wall is jogging away from us for the wide position measurement. Okay, so it's all the way open now, and the new message is to measure the inside distance. We're going to take the same measurement, and again we get this open position numeric input box now. So I open the machine, I open the doors, and I take that same measurement. That open measurement, tighter measurement is 492, 493 maybe. Okay. So we're back on the HMI. This is the open position. We look at the range, which is 475 to 505. We measured 493, so we're okay. So 493. So when I enter this value, you're going to see calibration complete, and that's the end of the process. Calibration complete, and there you go. You calibrated the linear actuator in the cassette wall. And when you're going to do that, I maybe should have mentioned at the beginning of the video, is if you have a new actuator, or for some reason you see the position of that actuator is just not quite right, and you can kind of tell that with the actual position here on the screen when I measure now. It says I'm at 493, which is true because that's where we left it, and that's where I measured it too. So those are the cases where you're going to want to do that, and that's everything. Thanks for watching.